Cambridge at the block to Draper. Draper bumping against Bridges. Shot rejected at the block, but body contact there by Bridges. That'll send Kasami to the line for Tuskegee.
Tuskegee doing an excellent job of moving the ball early. I like what they're doing, limiting their dribbles. They have some bouncy players on the Golden Tigers. The thing is, can you get the ball to them in the low block in space?
That's when they are most effective, when they are able to get it inside to Draper. And as of late, Dylan Cambridge has just added measure to that offensive punch for the Golden Tigers on the inside.
And that's why we talk about the guard play being the key to this Golden Tiger team. They've had the injuries hurt them in games where they had players playing out of position, most notably the CAU game, where they really struggled down the stretch.
7-3 lead for Tuskegee. They show full court pressure as the Yellow Jackets come across the timeline. Francis handles up top. They run that weave up top, now 10 to shoot. Francis slides left side. 7 to shoot. He'll work the paint, lost the dribble. 2 to shoot. They got it airborne before the buzzer. Remmer's off the mark. Draper clears for TU. And here comes Rodney with the basketball. Right side, Seasbury. Kevin pulls back, now inside Draper. Draper, right-handed floating hook shot, missed on the shot.
Draper had what he wanted, just able to complete it. Yeah, good look.
Nice look on the inside as your reference last, just not able to finish.
Speaking of guards, Jeremiah Francis for Allen, 6'1", 215. He's a big body guard, able to absorb contact. He's the player with the ball.
Full court pressure as Francis handles, passes across the timeline. On the move, left side, Edmond to the right, missed on the shot. Seasbury wants to run it for Tuskegee. Kevin, left side, now he'll pull back. Pennington squaring, trying to get it to Noah Gorns, a freshman who just got out on the floor for Coach Taylor and Tuskegee. Noah calling for it across the floor. Seasbury, he fires for 3. Bingo again for Seasbury.
Excellent cross-court pass. See the open man in the corner. Deep 3. Tuskegee up by 7, 10-3.
Second three-pointer by Seasbury. Pennington's got one as well.
Allen in the half court. Very deliberate on offense to start.
Half court, they throw the basketball away. Here comes Pennington, or Seasbury with it for Tuskegee now. Whistles. And a turnover there by Tuskegee will send it right back over to the Yellow Jackets. Tuskegee with the three-point shots at this point spin the difference. Take a look at this the second one here by Kevin.
Watch the arc and the splash.
Easily done by Kevin. From behind that arc, he's at 23% for Tuskegee. Opening 20 minutes here. Been perfect from behind the arc. Timeout on the floor. Take a break here on the media timeout. Tuskegee with a 10-3 lead over the Yellow Jackets of Allen University. More Tuskegee basketball on GTSN after this timeout. Back live here inside Chappie James, 10-3 lead for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. After the timeout, Yellow Jackets will have the basketball just to the left of our broadcast table. Out front with the basketball is Hunter Johnson, the freshman who's out on the floor now for Coach Sean Walker. They go down at the block to Bridges. He's doubled, pushes it back out front to Mike Best, the junior, who's on the floor for the first time. Inside, basketball's bounced around and it comes back to Best. He has to fire a long-range shot, missed on it, rebound tapped around. 2 Tuskegee players mistimed their jump on it, and the basketball belongs to Edmond for the Yellow Jackets, but a foul coming in at the back of the play. They call the foul on Seasbury.
Sorry about that. Allen's trying to work the ball inside to Tavis Bridges, 6'9", out of Boonfield, North Carolina. Very agile player, but they're just struggling to get the ball to him. In that last play, you can see he was just a little bit out of sync. He's going to go to the bench now, being replaced by Dimitri Patterson, who's 6'7".
Back inside, easy flush there as Edmond got an entry pass to get the lay-in or the flush for the Yellow Jackets, so they cut the deficit to 10-5. Full court pressure by the Yellow Jackets. Tuskegee, Seasbury across the floor now to Walker. Rodney across the timeline. Off of a screen by Draper, up top to Noah. Left side, Kevin with the basketball. 9 to shoot, JR, jumper, front of the iron, the rebound collected by the Yellow Jackets. They come back the other way, trailing by 5. Whistles down low. And it'll be Mike Best, the junior, going to the line for Tuskegee, for the Yellow Jackets, as Seasbury picks up his second personal.
Likely change of speed by Best as he's working along the baseline. Hesitated just a bit, accelerated at the last minute, got to the rack, picked up contact. Now he'll go to the free throw line. Best is going to be tough to contend if he can show that kind of gear change at full speed.
Best, a junior from Wilson, North Carolina, from the line, 9 of 10 coming into today's ball game.
You know, you got to have a game to go on the court if you come up with a name like Mike Best.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you got to come with the come.
You can't show up at the playground half-stepping.
I like that. You're right. Puts all kinds of pressure on you.
You know, you're choosing up teams. Who you got? I got Best. Okay, Best. Let's see what you got.
Sure. Well, he hit the first free throw from the line. And Best rattles a second, and that one falls off the mark. So Tuskegee with the lead and the basketball.
Pressure in the backcourt.
Across the floor, Pennington. Chip Culpepper out on the floor now for Tuskegee, his first spot of duty. And Trey Crawford out there as well. Entry pass, Draper. Draper leans back with the jumper from the iron, off balance, missed as a result.
Here's what I like about that sequence, Charles. Tuskegee did not put the ball on the floor one time in that last sequence. Didn't make the shot, but their offense very crisp in ball handling.
Best out front with it for the Yellow Jackets, bumped there by Crawford.
Trey Crawford defending right at the sideline. Got his hips just a little bit too much into his defense. He'll pick up the foul call.
Tyshawn Boyce, his first spot of duty for Tuskegee. He reports into the lineup, the sophomore from Long Island, New York.
Homeboy.
Boyce, 6'9". He is long. Left side all the way through and a lead behind. Pennington tries to save it for Tuskegee. He does. They were trying to leave it behind there for Dimitri Patterson. Back the other way, TU. Culpepper with it now. Across the floor, DA surveys, trying to get it to Boyce at the block. He'll hoist the three-pointer instead, and DA is fouled on the three-point shot. He will go to the line as Noel Scott commits the foul.
And that is the perfect word that you mentioned when you say hoist, because that may have been a little bit out of his range. You can tell when players don't get the proper rotation, they're just trying to force it up with everything they have. Fortunately, he gets bailed out by the foul call.
So it'll be Pennington at the line for Tuskegee. 1 of 2 for Tuskegee on the free throw line so far to get that one to fall.
So you know the rotation on his foul shot is a lot different than the rotation he got on that last three, which was almost like a knuckleball coming out of his hand.
Sure, not having to hoist it there from the free throw line, huh? Rattled, and he missed the second of 3. Pennington from the line. One of the leaders of Tuskegee, shooting at 71%. Only Seasbury with a better percentage from the line. Pennington 2 of 3 from the charity stripe.
Seemed to gather himself just a bit longer on that third free throw as compared with the second that he missed.
Tuskegee up by a dozen with 12:50 remaining in the first half. Johnson handles for the Yellow Jackets. Culpepper jumps him out front. So does Crawford. Now they go across the floor, down in the corner on the move. Is Scott tied up at the baseline. Pennington comes out of there with the basketball for Tuskegee. DA across the floor now to Taylor. Crawford squares. Now at the block, Boyce. Boyce working and backing in on Patterson. Turns and threw the basketball out of bounds.
Boyce made the excellent defensive play on one end. That time, not able to hook up on the pass, threw it out of bounds. He was looking and searching at the low post, really out of sync. The players cutting to the basket.
So the Yellow Jackets will have the basketball after the turnover. Third turnover for Tuskegee. Yellow Jackets half-court set. They move the ball quickly around the perimeter. Shot there is off the mark by Jordan Edmond for the Yellow Jackets, and here comes Pennington for TU. Lean back jumper, D.A. missed on the shot. Weathersby controls for Allen, and Taylor almost took it away in front of the Tuskegee bench.
The last shot by D'Anthony Pennington, Tuskegee. Those are the kind of shots that drive coaches crazy. If you're going to make that shot, don't make it a fadeaway. You've got to go straight up with it, shoot it in rhythm. That time, he goes up, and he's fading. Ball's off mark.
11:49 remains in this first half of play. Media timeout here inside. Chappie James will step out as well, with Tuskegee leading at 12-6 over the Yellow Jackets of Allen University.
Staying up to date on all recommended vaccines is one of the safest preventative care measures available to protect you and your family from disease. Many children and adults that delayed vaccination during the pandemic are still behind schedule. It is crucial that we take steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations. Tuskegee fans, let's all do our part to get back on track. Protect yourself and others by making sure you are up to date on all recommended vaccines, including respiratory virus vaccines. Don't wait. Vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM.
Special thanks to our sponsors, and particularly Alabama Department of Public Health, host of our halftime show and postgame show here on GTSN.
Have you been vaccinated, though? That's the real question.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Early on. Hope everybody takes heed to that warning and does get vaccinated. Play has resumed. Half-court set now, 4 for the Yellow Jackets. Out front with the basketball. Edmond, hard push left side. And a blocking foul on the inside. They'll get Boyce for the foul on the inside. That's his first.
I like the defense by Trey Crawford. Got a very subtle deflection on that last pass by Allen. If you can get a big man defending the paint like that, can lead to a lot of those easy turnovers that lead to fast break points.
Trey Crawford, the grad student from Highland Ranch, Colorado, into the Tuskegee program, and he has really been a real spark for them. Played extremely well down in the Virgin Islands, and even before that trip, he really starting to come into his own for Tuskegee. It's going to be a real good force for them to have in the second half of the season.
Never been to Highland Ranch, Colorado. We have to ask Trey Crawford if he's ever been on the hills out there to go skiing.
From the line, first free throw rattled and missed by Edmond. You would think it would be difficult to be from that area and not hit the hills, right?
You know, I've worked with people out in Colorado. They'll go skiing during their lunch breaks.
Yeah, right. Second and fall, it's good for Edmond. He'll depart after that free throw. Tuskegee will have the basketball, but they'll face full court pressure by the Yellow Jackets. Tuskegee with a 13-6 lead. Taylor with it in the backcourt. Bounce pass up the floor to Cambridge. Dillon up front. That one tapped around and out of bounds. It'll stay with Tuskegee.
Once again, another deflection. Officials are going to huddle up on it.
Right in front of us. I think we're going to have an overrule here. Jordan Craddock kind of overruling Terrence Edwards, saying that he had a better look at it and the basketball belongs to the Yellow Jackets.
I didn't see you make a move for it as the ball was coming right towards us at the table.
No, I don't touch it unless it's coming straight at me. Half court set now. Johnson, foul line extended. Best with the jumper, missed on the shot. Double C with the rebound for Tuskegee. Taylor across the timeline now. Works it at the left weave to Walker. Back to Austin. Austin back to Draper. Draper surveys, works the paint, and a whistle.
Now Draper's working against a double team. You can see his eyes up. He spotted a player at the free throw line, but kept it. Tuskegee's doing an excellent job of moving the basketball so far, but they've got to be more intuitive on those passes. Don't second guess yourself. You see an open man, hit him.
Seasbury back out on the floor. Culpepper takes a seat. 11:01 left first half of play. Tuskegee with the 12-7 lead. Kevin with it out front, trying to get it to Draper. He's there. Turns at the foul line. Head fake on Bridges. Now Draper lost the dribble over to Kevin out front. 10 to shoot for Tuskegee. Give it a go back to Draper. 7 to get airborne. Now to Draper. Lose it away. They're trying to get it back to Seasbury. And running the floor right side. Missing on the spinning lay-in is Weathersby. Tuskegee kind of weathered that storm there on transition. They had an easy lay-in, but Weathersby on the other end just couldn't finish. Rodney Walker Jr. handles out front for Tuskegee. Up top to Cambridge at the block. Draper on Bridges. Draper to the rack, missed on the shot. Rebound fought for it, tapped around. And the officials trying to look to see. The call is made by Scott Richards, the referee, saying it's Tuskegee's basketball.
Once Draper posts up, he's got to have an idea of what he wants to do with the basketball before he makes the catch. It seems like he's making the catch and then trying to decide. He's getting position, just got to be able to make that choice early on.
Foul called on Best as Tuskegee tried to inbound that basketball. Pennington to Draper, away from the basket, on Bridges now. Draper hard push, drew a foul, and he'll go to the line.
He got the call. A little bit out of control, off balance, going from right to left, trying to get his body adjusted, but Draper will go to the free throw line.
Draper into the program at Tuskegee, into that inside position, but really started out as a forward in terms of his high school play, and having to adjust to become more of a center versus playing from the wing. Made the adjustment, but a lot of times you can see that he falls back into some of the rhythm as a player that's used to playing away from the basket. Francis back out on the floor for Coach Walker. Best takes a seat.
Draper, another player that needs to just take his time at the free throw line. You can see, seemed to rush that first attempt.
Tuskegee, one of their Achilles heels is exactly what you're seeing here from that free throw line. Cambridge tied it up. The arrow will send it to the Yellow Jackets.
And Charles, as you know, it's always the little things. Free throws, how many times have you heard someone say can make the difference in a ball game?
Absolutely. Tuskegee, in their last ball game in the Virgin Islands, one of the better performers from the free throw line. They shot 74% from the line from there. But prior to that ball game, it's been near the 50s and the 60s where they've averaged as a team from that free throw line, and that really hurts your efforts.
Sure, and 74%, it's okay, but it's kind of borderline on mediocre. You really want to be in the 80s if you want to be proud about something on that stat.
On the weave, Yellow Jackets with the basketball now. Francis has it. Tuskegee with the 12-7 lead. They push it down at the block. Left side, Patterson working on Draper. Floating hook by Patterson, left it on the front iron. Rebound out of bounds. Pennington falls off the floor trying to get to it. He cannot. The basketball will belong to the Yellow Jackets, and they'll get a fresh 20 there on their end of the floor with 9:45 remaining in first half play. On the move whistles there as Samaj Brown handles the basketball.
Interesting move by Patterson. He got Draper on his hip, got what he wanted with the jump hook, just hit the back of the iron and back out. They want to get a seal on Draper if they can and try to use their muscle against his height.
Cambridge picks up his third earlier here in this first half of play. He'll take a seat. Patterson, the junior from Fayetteville, North Carolina, nets that first free throw for the Yellow Jackets. He's at 77% shooting from the free throw line.
Patterson's
one more coming here.
Big body, 6'7", 240.
9:38 remains. Tuskegee with a 12-9 lead. Full court pressure by Allen. Across the timeline, Pennington pushes it over to Walker. Rodney slides Euro step back to DA. Now back to Rodney. Bounce pass at the block, Draper. Rodney, head fake, right side, floater to the glass. And they'll get Rodney for the offensive foul on the inside. Good positioning inside by Jeremiah Francis for the Yellow Jackets.
Walker elevated. Defender had excellent position outside the arc. He was just a little bit out of control going 1-on-2.
Basketball stolen by Pennington in a half-court set. DA, right side, Seasbury to the rack, and Kevin's fouled. Or correction, that's Noah Goins down at the block on the transition, and Noah's fouled. He'll go to the line.
Samaj Brown thought he had all ball on that. Excellent defensive play, but Tuskegee, give them credit. Moving the ball, hitting the open man, going to the rack.
So Noah to the line as you take a look at that action on the other end, coming back toward the cylinder. And they got their fouls called on the inside against Brown. So Goins at the free throw line. And Noah missed on the first. Walker out of the lineup. Culpepper back out. Seasbury takes a seat.
It's time to go.
Or correction, Kevin out of there. It looks like Walker's going to stay on the floor for Tuskegee. Noah rims the second one as well.
So the way Tuskegee shooting free throws, they're dangerously close to being locked in the gym for Christmas vacation.
Right now, 5 of 8 from the free throw line. Entry pass on the inside. Now they got it inside to Patterson. And a whistle on the inside, going back the other way.
Excellent defense by the Golden Tigers as, once again, Allen not able to carve out any space inside. Tuskegee with their active hands.
Culpepper inbounds it in the backcourt to Draper. 8:50 remains, first half. Walker tried to bounce it up floor. It was kicked out of bounds by Edmond.
Hey, no help on him, shooter.
Culpepper to inbound it.
No help, no help, no help.
On the turn, it's Pennington. Goins with the screen right side. Now down in the corner, double C.
No.
Down at the block, Draper, they almost throw it away. Now they go back inside Noah, right side, lost it momentarily, had it stripped on the inside. Now they fight for it on the surface. They go to the arrow. If it's arrow, it's Tuskegee's.
The problem with trying to throw those hot passes inside is that Allen has really active hands, and they're double teams. They're very alert. They're getting deflections, if not outright steals, with their ball pressure inside.
Inside play there as you take a look at it. Noah trying to go in through that slice, trying to get past Edmond. Draper with a jumper before the buzzer, can't get it in live action. So Francis and the Yellow Jackets back the other way. In the corner, Walker almost tapped that one for a steal for Tuskegee going back. But it'll be a reset for the Yellow Jackets down in the corner. Defensive specialist Chip Culpepper on Francis out front now. On the weave. Patterson gives it up top. Weathersby down at the block. Challenge down low, and that's a Yellowwood block shot down low by Trey Crawford for Tuskegee. 7:54 left now. DA floater at the block. Draper finishes for Tuskegee.
Draper decisive on the catch, right to the rack for the 2.
Assist by DA, and Kasami able to finish. Tuskegee with a 14-9 lead. Whistles in the front court. And an offensive foul call there.
So this is the point I was trying to make earlier, Charles. Draper knew what he wanted to do exactly when he made the catch. Turned, got to the rack, made the easy layup. That's how you like to see Draper play. Watch the catch, the turn, and the finish.
Knew exactly where it was on the floor on that one.
That's an excellent point. Knowing where you are on the court is a huge part of playing effective basketball. Sometimes players, with their back to the basket, they lose track of where they are. Draper, on that last attempt, knew exactly where it was inside the paint.
And this is where we are at the GTSN broadcast table here inside Chappie James. He's Mark Lassiter, Charles Ward. 7:35 remains in the first half. Good news, Tuskegee leading at 14-9. Media timeout here inside the Chappie James Arena. Chance for us to thank our sponsors for their support of us all season long. Booster Displays, TNT Fireworks, Alabama Power, Alabama Department of Public Health, Wind Creek Casino Montgomery, Yellowwood, and Zuby's Taco Kitchen and Bar in the Decatur area near Atlanta. As you peer inside that Tuskegee huddle, head coach Benchy Taylor in his 6th season at Tuskegee.
I like the way Tuskegee calls their huddle. They're not on the bench. They're actually in a corner of Chappie James. They have a set of seats between the stands at the baseline and the stands on the sideline. They carved out their own little huddle area over there. What is that about?
Well, it's just the Tuskegee way. That's what they traditionally do. They circle right down in that corner. That allows us to get right inside with our cameras to see exactly what they're doing inside that huddle.
Little nook huddle.
Pennington at the line. It looks like there was a technical foul called on the floor. And DA hits the first technical. So Pennington with a second coming. I think that challenged by the Jordan Edmond to the call by the official drew that technical foul.
Like the way Tuskegee's now getting to the line and calmly making their free throws.
7:35 remains first half. It's a 16-9 lead for the Golden Tigers. Francis to inbound it. Does so out front to DJ Stubbs, who's back out on the floor. Stubbs slides all the way through left side, left a shot short. Rebound fought for. And a whistle called on the inside.
Looks like they're going to get Culpepper of Tuskegee a little active with the hands inside. The officials warning the coach from Allen to stay in his boundary on the sideline. He was creeping awfully close to the half-court line. They're debating where he should be to make a protest on these foul calls.
Yeah, at the line for the Yellow Jackets is Dimitri Patterson, the junior, and he hit the first free throw. They credit that foul mark to Kasami Draper and not to Culpepper, so Draper will pick up his first. And Culpepper with a little bit more dangerous foul scenario, so it's good that Draper were able to they got Draper instead of Chip. 16-11, Tuskegee with the lead. Walker across the timeline now. Works it in the corner to Crawford. We approach the 7-minute mark now as Pennington handles just in front of the Yellow Jacket bench. 7 to shoot now for TU. Draper squares, 5 to shoot. Kasami on the move, jumper left side, missed it. Rebound cleared by the Yellow Jackets. They run the floor with Weathersby handling right side. Now Francis up top. Stubbs doubled at the sideline. Foul line extended. The jumper left short there by Patterson. Tuskegee takes over.
Patterson made the catch, turned, surprised by the space he had. Really a little hesitant to take that shot.
Sure. Walker to Pennington. On a rib through across the floor now. Draper inside the paint. Floating right-hand shot, and Draper got it to fall.
When Draper is decisive, he's at his best.
Good pass there from Chip Culpepper to lead him on the inside. So Tuskegee with an 18-11 lead now with 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Stubbs leans back with a line drive 3-point shot. Crawford clears the errant shot.
Not a good shot by Stubbs, just spinning and just throwing it up there.
Walker across the floor, Crawford. Zone defense there by the Yellow Jackets now. Tuskegee with 15 to shoot. Rodney, right side, behind the arc, jumper. Had a good look, missed on the shot. That was at the top of the backboard. Basketball over to the Yellow Jackets. Now, that one may have looked like Rodney was a little bit off balance with that. He can hit that shot from outside, but mostly when he's going forward.
Excellent job, as you mentioned, carving out space. See the passing by Tuskegee on the shot by Draper, working the ball around and getting Draper open. But you make a great point on that last jumper, just a bit sliding to the side.
That's enough to throw it off. 5:40-34, that is, remains in his first half. Tuskegee leads it 18-11. Hunter Johnson back out on the floor now for Coach Walker and the Yellow Jackets. Best on the floor as well in the corner. Almost lost it. Now up top on the move is Edmond. 10 to shoot. Best on the weave.
Dangerously close to a travel.
Barely saving that travel. 3 to shoot. Take away by Crawford. Up to Taylor. Right side Draper. Draper hard push at the block. Draper lost it on the penetration. Man on the fly, it's Best back the other way for the Yellow Jackets, and he got the lay-in.
Draper is much better on the catch and shoot than he is off the dribble. He's got to get the ball up without putting it on the floor.
Taylor up top now for TU. 4:38 left, first half. Up top Crawford. At the block Draper. Dangerous pass. They got it to him at the block. Draper way underneath, tries a reverse lay-in, and he gets a foul called.
Draper was having playground flashbacks as he was trying to double pump and come up the other side.
You were looking at it like, let's see what he comes up with under here.
What's a creative shot? But if you're going to make that, you've got to have enough spin on the ball for it to hit off the glass and bounce in. Watch Draper on the catch and see if he can put that extra English on the layup.
Trying to work at the block.
Go ahead, say it on the TV.
Draper at the line, missed on that first free throw. Right now, Tuskegee just 5 of 11 from the free throw line. As Noel Scott makes it back out on the floor for the Yellow Jackets. 4:27 left first half. Men's action here from Chappie James. Golden Tigers on the women's side, winners for their first conference win of the season, 55-49 over the number 1 team seed out of the East in the Yellow Jackets women's team. So a big win for Coach Wester and the Golden Tigers. Hard push at the block and a whistle there on the penetration by Scott.
So we're not going to talk about the 4 consecutive missed free throws by Draper. We're going to credit him for trying to have the effort to get the ball inside. You can see him with hands on hips. He may be a little bit winded at the same time.
Scott at the line for the Yellow Jackets. Los Angeles, California native. 4:16 left first half. Scott's true on that first free throw. The Yellow Jackets 7 of 9 from the free throw line. And Scott got them both from the line to make it 18-14. Taylor across the floor to Roy Obsaint. And Obsaint, you haven't heard that name before, just added to the Tuskegee roster. So his first touch of the basketball. And a foul call.
Come on, we right in it. We're right where we want to be.
Call that on Pennington away from the basketball. That's his first. Best gives it up on a weave to Edmond, right side, taken away by Taylor. 2-on-1 basketball now. Oston, left side, nice bounce across the floor to Pennington. That'll go in anyway. They were going to get a goaltend call had it not spun good for Pennington. Good job there by Taylor to lead that 2-on-1 break. Gave it up with enough time for Pennington to really get the lay-in right side.
It's about as good as you'll see Tuskegee run the break on that last steal. Tip up court. Watch the pass. Off the dribble and the finish.
Yeah, the key to that, as you know, Mark, is you got to give that basketball up early enough to let your teammate get into a position to do something with it near the cylinder. So Taylor the veteran that he is, the redshirt junior from Honolulu, made that pass out in front, and Pennington able to finish for Tuskegee. 3:48 remaining. Tuskegee up by 5, 20-15.
Talk about Tuskegee's guard play. That's a difficult pass to make at full speed. Also, you've got players trying to get back and players sprinting towards the rack. Credit to Tuskegee guards for getting the ball to the point of attack.
Tuskegee, after the timeout, headed back to the floor. Coach Taylor used that timeout to work referee Scott Richards to no end, and still working him as the players make it back on into the floor. Oh, down in the Virgin Islands, after we kind of finished up play and down at one of the restaurants down there, and Coach Taylor, and then one of the players that he coached, which is actually the father of one of the players on the roster now, Michael Hodges. Michael Hodges Sr. played under Coach Taylor when he was an assistant, and he was talking to some of the stories about the head coach that he played under. Had us all dying in the restaurant. Meanwhile, whistles on the half-court set. They'll call that foul on Roy Obsaint, and it's his first personal as a Tuskegee player, and that will send Mike Best to the line for the Yellow Jackets. Best on that first free throw, missed on that one. 3:26 remains first half. Best spins and misses the second of 3.
Mike Best, after missing the second free throw, looking around, it's like, what am I doing wrong here? Gets a friendly pat from Jordan Edmond. It comes to remind him all the way from half court. Okay, you're a guard. Make this third one at least.
Meanwhile, Seasbury back out on the floor for Tuskegee, as Best does what you said, made the third one. Full court pressure by Allen. Across the floor now. Rodney lost it off of his foot. Back left side with an easy lay in there is Noel Scott. 3:10 left. Seasbury across the floor. Now they get it across the timeline. Boyce back out on the floor. He handles in the middle. Tuskegee trying to spread that floor a little bit here. Pennington wants it left side. Pulling out defensively is Johnson. Back across the floor, Seasbury. Kevin stopped. Line drive jumper, and Seasbury's on target.
Seasbury with excellent elevation on that jumper. Cleared space for himself up top. Excellent form.
Has such a quick spring in terms of his jump shot. Got the space there and knocked it down. 22-18, Tuskegee leads. Seasbury with 6 in the first half after that field goal. Best line drive shot. Creased the rim, missed on the shot, but an easy rebound and flush put back by Jordan Edmond for the Yellow Jackets.
Edmond with the flush off the miss. Gets a rise out of the crowd on the near sideline.
Some of the fans in support of the Yellow Jackets just behind us. Rodney Walker out front for Tuskegee. Tuskegee with a 2-point lead. Under 2 minutes left, first half of play. Crawford fires a 3. Trey, back of the iron. Rebound. Crawford saves it in the corner. Good effort by Trey to run that basketball down.
Excellent hustle. Missed on the 3, but got to the corner in time enough to make the save before he went out of bounds.
So Tuskegee will have the basketball. Instead, it'll be Seasbury who was fouled. He'll be at the line shooting. It's even better news for Tuskegee. Foul was called.
That was an excellent save because Allen's on a bit of a mini run, cutting what was a 5-point lead down to 2 points and dangerously close to taking possession.
What Tuskegee is not doing right now is taking advantage of the free points at that free throw line, because right now Seasbury missed the first there. They're 5 of 13 shooting from the line.
It's your time right here, 10.
Seasbury got the second of 2.
Give us something. Best shooter on the floor.
Tuskegee up by 3 with 1:47 left. right side, Johnson handles. And they work it back out front to Scott. 10 to shoot. At the block, shot rejected inside. Yellow with the block shot there by Kevin Seasbury. Tuskegee back the other way now. RJ across the floor. Draper bounce pass from left block. Draper draws a crowd there. They push it across the floor. Pennington. Back across to Rodney. 12 and at the block. Right-handed hook shot. Draper inside and a whistle at the block.
Draper posted and then reposted, got the catch. Wasn't able to make the easy jump hook inside, but Tuskegee will maintain possession.
They get Hunter Johnson. Or correction, they're going to call that foul on Scott inside for the Yellow Jackets.
Watch Draper inside. Got the position, had the man on his hip. Got exactly what he wanted on that jump hook.
Yeah, I thought it was Johnson guilty of the foul, and that's who they finally assessed it to, was Johnson. Trying to get positioning on the inside, but using that body check to do it. So Noah at the line for Tuskegee. Noah knocks down the free throw. So Tuskegee up by 5 now with 62 seconds remaining.
Imagine where they would be if they were making 75% of their free throws.
Half court set now. Out on the floor is Ethan Hill. He handles it. On a weave, they give it up top. On the turn is Anwari Smith. Now inside the paint, Scott challenges, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line. So
No,
Culpepper
Scott
guilty of the foul.
trying to make that giant step inside. Carved out some space, got the shot up. Got the benefit of the free throw.
Scott's been busy since he's gotten into the ball game for the Yellow Jackets. Got 4 points for them at the line, trying to collect more. Made the first free throw. Boyce takes a seat, took a shot to his right arm. As he's there on the Tuskegee bench now, arriving in a little bit of pain. Free throws were good. Makes it 25-22, less than a minute remaining. Up top, and Seasbury threw it right into the defense of the Yellow Jackets. Scott to the rack, right side. Seasbury comes away with it for Tuskegee in the backcourt. Over to Pennington. DA bounce pass left side. Noah had it blocked from behind, but some body contact. Just a block called on that.
Tuskegee's trying to outrun the pressure as opposed to pass through the pressure. That time a little bit out of control. Got the ball to the corner, just wasn't able to be productive with it.
Yeah, but to your point, when you try to do that, sometimes it takes you to a pace faster than you want to go once you get it into a half-court set. That time, Tuskegee got a break on the inside, and they'll be at the line shooting free throws or have the ball the side out. It was just bounced out of bounds off of the Yellow Jackets, so Tuskegee will have it with 21 seconds left.
It's interesting how the two teams for Allen, both the men's and women's basketball team, are hyper active on defense. Both pick up at half court, both very aggressive.
Sean Walker, second-year head coach for the Yellow Jackets. And you talk about the women, Olivia Jones, she's in their first year as a head coach there. As Pennington and Tuskegee set to inbound, it's Seasbury in the corner now. Shot clock is off, 18 seconds left first half. Rodney circles up top for TU. Draper with a screen left side across the floor, Pennington. 9 to shoot. Noah wants it in the corner. Now Pennington will have to take it here with 7. Across the floor, Walker for 3. Rimmer, and that's how the first half ends. Tuskegee got a shot off before the buzzer. Walker across the floor, not able to finish. But Tuskegee finishes the first 20 minutes of this ball game, leading at 25-22 over the Yellow Jackets of Allen University in the first half. Mark, you talked about the pace of this first half of play. Wonder where Tuskegee would really be as it relates to leading this ball game had they done a little bit better at that free throw line.
Well, the pace has been a little bit to Allen's liking because they like to bring that defensive pressure. They must have scouted Tuskegee from some of the earlier games. But Tuskegee, as you mentioned, all they got to do is make their free throws.
And one of the things we talked about in the pregame is that, and Coach Taylor was talking about it, if they can get that positioning on the inside with Draper, they'll get some good results. Right now, Draper's contributing with baskets. They're sending him to the line as well. It's just got to do a little bit better at the line.
Well, Draper's doing a good job when he knows what he wants to do with the basketball before he catches. Can't put it on the floor. Just go straight up with it.
Well, we know what we want to do. Want to take a break here. It's Golden Tigers basketball on GTSN. More of that ahead here after these timeouts.
Staying up to date on all recommended vaccines is one of the safest preventative care measures available to protect you and your family from disease. Many children and adults that delayed vaccination during the pandemic are still behind schedule. It is crucial that we take steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations. Tuskegee fans, let's all do our part to get back on track. Protect yourself and others by making sure you are up to date on all recommended vaccines, including respiratory virus vaccines. Don't wait. Vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM.
Everybody on the Golden Tigers Sports Network at halftime. Glad you could join us for our continuing coverage. And it was a great joy for me to catch up earlier in the week with one of the Alumni Associations. This one, the Metro New York Alumni Association, led by their president, A.J. Woodson, who joins us now on GSN. A.J., thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Charles.
Well, let's start out with the obvious. Tuskegee alum, talk about the year that you graduated and what it meant for you to be a part of that Tuskegee family as a student.
So I graduated Tuskegee 2010 with my bachelor's in sales and marketing. I consider myself a unique alum because I'm also born and raised in the city of Tuskegee. So Tuskegee for me has always been family. My family works at Tuskegee. I've always been around Tuskegee, so it's kind of in my blood. So to say that Tuskegee is a family for me is kind of an understatement. It's almost like it's not a choice for me. I don't have a choice in the matter.
Kind of a double whammy, if you will, or a double hit as a native of Tuskegee and then attending school there. What's the reason about being a student at Tuskegee?
I think one of the unique things that I always tell students when I'm doing college fairs and recruiting up here in the Northeast is that Tuskegee is unique in the fact that it's not in a large city. We don't have, all of the so-called modern amenities. There's not clubs all over the place. There's not all these places to hang out. So we do a really good job of making our own fun. Our social aspect that we have on campus is very unique, and it's second to none because of the fact that we have to, really make our own fun and socialize more than some of the other colleges in the bigger cities kind of do. They have the option to just, go out to the mall or go out to a club or go out to a bar or something. But at Tuskegee, we kind of are incubated in our own little space. So that brings us closer together. And I think that makes us a little bit more tight knit than others.
Your affinity to Tuskegee as a native of the city and having attended there really now it's stretched over into this third phase of your life, if you will, and now you've used all that to work yourself into a position of being the president of the Metro New York chapter. Talk about what led you to want to for that position in the New York.
It's actually a unique story in itself. I didn't actually ask for this. I was kind of thrust into the position, which is why at this point now, I've been the president now for I think about 3 or 4 years. I've just embraced it because I've been living in New York now for 10 years. For the first couple of years that I was up here, I was not attached to any alumni chapter. Just, moving into New York from Alabama. So, kind of getting my surroundings straight, getting to know my way around. And then the former president and a couple of other members and some people that were in school along the same time when I was, they invited me to an event that the alumni chapter was having, and I showed up, new a lot of people there because obviously, everybody's a Tuskegee alum. They embrace me, much like Tuskegee alum will do for anybody anywhere in the world. And from there, just kind of, grew to where I was asked to, kind of help with volunteer with one thing, and another thing led to another thing, and eventually the former president decided that they were going to step back and do some other things in life, and we're proud of her for going to get another degree and all of those things. And so she asked me to step in, and everybody was receptive to it. I was reluctant, but then I accepted. And now it's been about, like I said, 3 or 4 years, and I couldn't be happier. And now I embrace it as something that I guess kind of like one of those divine callings where I'm supposed to be in this position. So the best I can do is embrace it and do all I can to do to make this, to make this chapter better.
So out of that chapter, kind of what's the Folk Metro New York chapter in terms of what it is that you all do? I know all of it's in concord with Tuskegee overall in terms of your help there, but just as a point of articulation, let's talk a little bit about that.
I think for us, our real focus is increasing recruiting and exposure for HBCUs, and most importantly, Tuskegee in the Northeast. Because everyone, if you don't know, you won't know that majority of our HBCUs are going to start in the Virginia area on down. Most of them are located in the South, and so. Lately here in the New York area and Jersey, Connecticut, the tri-state area has been a very heavy push to expose the kids to HBCUs. So we do a lot of collaborative work and partnerships with other HBCUs on different organizations that are doing their best to expose students all the way down to the elementary level to HBCUs in general, since they don't get to see it, much like some of the kids that are growing up in Atlanta or growing up in in a Montgomery or places in Florida where we see the HBCU culture constantly on display. They don't get the chance to see that here. So I think that's really our focus, is to basically be the shining light on the HBCU culture for people in the tri-state area who don't get a chance to see it on the regular.
You're also first vice president for the region that includes the Metro New York and the areas in that part of the region. Let's talk a little bit about that. That's kind of an added level to what you do at the New York Metro level in terms of your responsibilities or your commitment to Tuskegee.
Yeah. So as the first VP for the Northeast region, I assist the regional director, Ms. Barbara Cleveland, with right now we're actually planning our regional biennial conference, which will be next year in July in Philly, July 24th to 27th in Philadelphia. And then also helping and assisting other chapters that we have in the Northeast region with doing what I said we're doing here in the New York area, is exposing everybody in the surrounding areas to HBCUs and most importantly the Tuskegee way. So I think that's really, by being put in that position, it just, helped me to gain a little bit more insight on how the inner workings of the alumni chapter goes nationally, not just locally. And then being able to collaborate with other regions, other chapters across the nation. I'm always in conversation with the LA club, the Atlanta clubs. So I think that's one of the things. And also being somewhat in the middle of the alumni age ranges. We've got we have this thing, old Tuskegee and new Tuskegee, but at this point now, I'm a little bit removed. I'm a little bit in the middle of both. But I'm familiar with both. Like I said, I grew up born and raised in Tuskegee, so I know, graduates of Tuskegee Institute. I know graduates of Tuskegee University, and I know, people that have graduated within the past 5 to 6 years. So I think being able to be in that centerpiece and being able to bring both groups together is what I think is kind of essentially what my task, and people in my same age bracket, that's kind of our place now, is to kind of bridge it to where the younger alums and the older alums, we find that common ground to make sure that we get the word out about Mother Tuskegee across the nation.
TSN really got to know you, if you will, right around homecoming, right around the start of the football season with our initiative with the Golden Tiger Sports Network. It just become an ambassador, a Tuskegee brand, and just got to really see some of the things that you were doing from afar, and just the embrace that you showed to us in terms of the network and our coverage of Tuskegee football in particular was just so outstanding on the front end. And clearly right around homecoming, when you were really focusing in on the event that you put together at homecoming. I don't want to miss this opportunity to, one, thank you for what you were doing at homecoming, but to let you share a little bit about the whole element you were talking about, all of being kind of a piece that blends the old, new Tuskegee, the art forum that you have for homecoming was just really outstanding. I don't want to miss a chance. We just that.
No, yeah, and I appreciate you for bringing that up. I think around 2019, I had an idea that I wanted to do something during homecoming that wasn't normal, because we always have our club parties, our tent parties, and we love that. But I wanted to do something with a little bit more substance to it. And so the first iteration we did, a dream of mine was always to hold an event at Moton Field. And by luck, by divine intervention, I was able to in 2019 have an event out in the Skyway Club at Moton Field, which is the club that the Tuskegee Airmen built to entertain themselves. And shout out to my partner, Mr. Kigwana Cherry. He helped me put it on, and he's been my partner since then. So we had initially then just a mixer. We had some live music, jazz, hors d'oeuvres, and just had alumni come and just gather. And then 2020, obviously, we didn't have it. 2021, we didn't have it because we didn't have homecoming. 2022, we did it again, and we had the idea to include art. And we know personally, several alumni artists, so we reached out to them. They were more than glad to join in. So we did that in 2022. Then fast forward to this year, the artists came back around and asked, did we want to do it again? And we said, of course. We began looking for places to do it. And we wanted to switch up because Moton Field, as historic as it is, it's not conveniently located near the campus. And we were looking, and once again, these things just happen. And Ms. Tia Perot over in the architectural library reached out and was willing to let us use that space. So this year we had another art show. We had more alumni artists join us. It was conveniently located on campus. We had a lot more of the older alums show up, and they were very receptive to the idea. So it's something that we want to continue doing. We also want to make it bigger and better. And now we have a proven model that we can, bring to the campus and, have it in a bigger and better space and possibly partner up with the Department of Alumni Affairs. So, thank you for bringing that up. But so, yeah, definitely want to, continue that. And all of the proceeds every year, we always give it out directly to the students or directly to the university, or a combination of the two. So usually we give out a couple of book vouchers. We may donate to different causes on the campus. So that's mainly the goal. It's a small fundraiser held by alumni, done for alumni to benefit our school. And just on the other side of that, with the Golden Tiger Sports Network, I just wanted to say thank you on behalf of the alumni here, because as Tuskegee, as nationally known as it is, we don't get a lot of TV time. Maybe one or two of the classics, since the SIAC has signed the media rights deal, we get maybe 2 or 3 football games on, but the rest of the sports we don't get a chance to see. This year, we're going to be blessed to be able to see our team play in the HBCU Classic. But thanks to the Golden Tiger Sports Network, I've literally been able to watch, almost every football game this season, especially even the away games that you all were able to do the video coverage there. So just being able to physically watch my school participate in sports is it's a thing to do. And I've encouraged everybody. Every time something comes on, I send the link out to everybody up here because it's good to see. And it's also one of those. It's a thing that we could possibly start using for recruitment, to where we can gather some kids together and say, hey, we can watch the game on Saturday, and now we can hold. We do have watch parties occasionally. No, most of the time we do it with the Morehouse Classic, because that's always on a major TV network. But now with the Golden Tiger Sports Network, we can hold more watch parties because we have the games on live, and we can do it for other sports too, not just football. So once again, thank you all for what you all are doing. The quality is great, and the coverage is amazing.
Well, we appreciate the idea. It's interesting you mentioned this idea about watch parties and what this network could mean for Tuskegee in terms of pushing brand further and recruiting as well. One of the things we're going to talk a little bit about this off air after we get done with this interview is that we have conceived as the Alumni Challenge that will start in January, and it'll be focused on some of those very things that you're talking about, being able to let this network be the gelling point, if you will, for the chapters across the country, and to generate possible fundraising centered around that. So we're excited about that, and we're excited about the embrace that you showed early on for the network, and in terms of traction with the alumni chapter of the country.
Staying up to date on all recommended vaccines is one of the safest preventative care measures available to protect you and your family from disease. Many children and adults that delayed vaccination during the pandemic are still behind schedule. It is crucial that we take steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations. Tuskegee fans, let's all do our part to get back on track. Protect yourself and others by making sure you are up to date on all recommended vaccines, including respiratory virus vaccines. Don't wait. Vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM.
Back live here inside Chappie James Arena on the Golden Tigers Sports Network. Special thanks to A.J. Woodson, the chapter president of the Metro New York Tuskegee Alumni Chapter, for joining us at the halftime. We'll be talking more about these chapters in the January portion of our season. We launch our chapter challenge during the basketball season. Glad for him to just spend some time with us, and being such a strong supporter of the network and of Tuskegee University overall. Back to live action second half. Charles Ward, Mark Lassiter here as the Golden Tigers lead second half 25-22. And on the defensive stop, they'll have it in a half-court set now. Pennington with it out front. Seasbury on the move with 12. Running jumper by Kevin. Spinner falls good for the shooter in the corner.
Nice baseline move by Seasbury. Saw space, not much space, but got the friendly roll.
Got 11 in the ball game after that jumper in the corner. Francis on the move, trying to answer. Foul line inside the paint now. Got an easy crip shot as Seasbury backed off of the defense inside. Francis with his 5th point of the ball game. Seasbury going back to work. Cambridge inside. Dillon right hand floater to the glass, and Dillon's true for Tuskegee on the inside.
Tuskegee has a big body guard of its own. Cambridge 6'4", 190. Francis goes 210. That's a nice matchup. I'd like to see that in like a heavyweight fight.
Bridges. Yellowwood block shot there by Draper at the cylinder for Tuskegee. Quickly up the floor in the corner. Seasbury again. This one in front of the iron. Cambridge keeping it alive as he normally does. Good work by him. Pennington pushes back. RJ for 3. Count it for Tuskegee.
Open look, excellent form. 3 points for Tuskegee.
Tuskegee opening up a 32-24 lead after a good start here in the second half. Weathersby over to Francis. On the move in the right corner. Stubbs doubled there, pushes back out to Bridges. 12 to shoot now for the Yellow Jackets. Stubbs line drive shots off the mark. Cambridge challenging on the inside. It'll stay with the Yellow Jackets.
Shooters got to shoot. It's nice to see Tuskegee's guards come up very decisive from long distance, hitting those 2 early threes, giving them a 9-point lead, an 8-point lead.
And remember, this is kind of how we started the basketball out, with Pennington hitting a 3 and then Seasbury hitting a couple of threes in the first half. Doing the same thing here in the second. Francis down in the left corner now for the Yellow Jackets. Out front, 3-point shot, and that one is knocked down. Good effort there by Jordan Edmond, the redshirt sophomore from Atlanta.
Edmond with a smooth stroke for the 3. Players, the modern players, falling in love with the long distance attempt.
He's got 8 after that 3-pointer. Left side, Austin Taylor on the floor, works it down at the block to Draper. Draper doubled there, they push him back out in the corner. Now across the floor, D.A. head fake, lets the defense fly by. Pennington, oh yeah!
That got some paint off the roof.
Pennington let the defense walk by, and he knocked it down. 35-27 after that jumper. Francis trying to get it back. Draper fought for it, comes clear to Taylor. Austin up the floor now. Pennington right side. Seasbury in the corner, bangs another 3. Bingo for Seasbury.
I like the look. Very nonchalant pass to the corner, hitting the open man in space.
Tuskegee doing a great job now. They open up an 11-point lead with 16:20 remaining in the basketball game. Half-court set for the Yellow Jackets. They work it down in the corner. 3-point shot by Weathersby. That one's off the mark. Tapped around. D.A. got it for Tuskegee.
Tuskegee's offense seems to be settling in, not showing as much hesitation as they did in the first half. They're seeing the open man, find the open man, let him shoot it.
Seasbury out front, Draper in the paint. Floater there by Draper, rolled it forward, and he got it to fall inside.
Perfect case. Draper getting the man on his hip, turning to the rack.
Draper with 7 after that basket inside. Tuskegee with his largest lead of the ball game now. Up top with the basketball, Weathersby. Now Stubbs handles, bounces across the floor. Weathersby again. 9 to shoot for the Yellow Jackets. They dump it down at the block. Bridges leaning backward, missed on the shot. Cambridge had a hand on it. It comes to Bridges, and they'll get a shot clock violation. Good defensive work by TU.
What did Bob Marley say? I don't want to wait in vain for your love. Tuskegee, I don't want to wait too long for this open shot because they're not hesitating and taking it.
Yes, sir, they are. They come out on fire here in this second half of play. Just taking control of this basketball game right now, 40-27 against the Yellow Jackets with 15 minutes, 14 seconds left in the ball game.
Basketball, as you know, Charles, as a game of runs, it's nice to see Tuskegee go on this run to start the second half. Whatever was mentioned to them at the halftime break had to do probably with more just not hesitating, be more certain of what you're trying to do with the ball on offense, and they're just throwing it up and hitting it.
Let's take a look at some of the Vibe Restaurant three-point baskets here. As you see that one, that lazy pass you talked about, the little flip pass, and Seasbury finishing that one in the corner with the three-pointer for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee.
You know, I'm convinced that once you get to this level, most of these players are quality ball players. If you give them an open look in rhythm, chances are they're going to hit it. The test for most offenses is, can you get the ball to the open man without that pressure, without forcing shots? And that's usually the team that's successful.
That's what we're seeing from the Golden Tigers. You're right, on transition. And in the half-court set, they're getting the basketball into a position where the player can set up and make some shots. They'll have the basketball. Tuskegee will after the timeout, leading at 40-27.
All starts with the guard play. Watch Tuskegee against the pressure.
Right side, Draper away from the arc. Seasbury on a weave. Kevin pushes through. Left side, Taylor. Trying to set Draper on the inside. They got him there. Draper turns inside. Floating hook shot. Draper rattles it good for Tuskegee.
Draper gave his guard a very subtle look coming down court. Like, I don't want it there. Give it to me here.
Yeah.
Went, reposted, made the turnaround shot.
Very effective that time down the floor. Taylor with the assist. Pennington, tough defense out front there on Weathersby. 12 to shoot now for the Yellow Jackets. Edmond out front, or correction, Johnson with it, and they turn it over.
Coaches always talk about communication in basketball. Sometimes that communication is verbal, but a lot of times it's just a simple glance or a look or an eye contact. You know what the other player's getting ready to do. Draper did an excellent job with eye contact communication with his guard.
Coach Walker and the Yellow Jackets, they've had enough. He was forced to take a timeout. You know, he's got a shaved head here, but if he had any hair, he'd be pulling it out. As you take a look at Draper rattling that hook shot inside the paint for Tuskegee.
The other thing that Draper,
power point in the paint,
he displayed was the footwork. Once he made the catch, it was a subtle extra move that he made before he made the spin, make space, and complete that pass. Now, again, Allen needing to call this timeout. You tack on another 5 points, and Tuskegee is all of a sudden up by 20 in this ball game. As it stands with 14:25 to go, they're in a great position, just jumping out of this early spurt coming out of the locker room.
I'm not sure what the conversation was about in the locker room, but you got a sense that it's like some of what you're saying is that, hey, just relax a little bit. Let's work the floor, get your spacing, get your shots off, and then let's see how things work out. So far, they really have for the Golden Tigers in the second half of play. The Yellow Jackets back out onto the floor first. Tuskegee breaking that huddle with Coach Taylor down in the corner.
The corner huddle.
Yeah. Marcus Jeter, the trainer for Tuskegee basketball, head trainer overall, kind of sets that little seating arrangement down in the corner for them. As play gets set to resume, they have to move it back off of the floor, but once they sense that timeout coming, they'll go ahead and set that seating arrangement down. Half court set for Tuskegee now. Draper in the corner. Zone defense now for the Yellow Jackets, trying to see if they can't quell some of this fire by Tuskegee. Draper inside instead. A hook shot again, and this time they're going to wave it off. Fall on Draper, fighting for a position on the inside. That one, in the large scheme of things of what we've seen letting go in this contest, that one seems kind of tacky.
Draper got down low against two players. Did an excellent job making the catch in traffic and completing the shot. Just picked up the foul.
Scott rattles one right there near the free throw line for the Yellow Jackets to break that ice for them against Tuskegee. 42-29 TU with the lead. Taylor slides across the timeline right side.
Too much dribble.
Right side, Draper. Goins with a screen. He'll pop out and get the basketball. 10 to shoot now at the block, Draper. Draper turns left side this time. Leans back, floater to the rack, missed. Rebound, Goins. Noah with the back for Tuskegee inside.
As they say, that's a man's rebound. Inside against two players, went up strong with it.
Noah, the freshman from Mansfield, Texas, has been nothing but a breath of fresh air for Coach Taylor and Tuskegee. Right side, Scott to the rack. Got it to the cylinder and he got it to fall. That's a man's play on the inside there by Scott for the Yellow Jackets.
Allen has not just one, they have two big body guards. That time Scott did an excellent job using that muscle to carve space inside, complete the play.
Half court set, Tuskegee trying to see who got that. I think Tuskegee may have turned that basketball over, trying to get it across the mid-stripe.
They list Scott at 6'4". He doesn't look 6'4" from here.
No.
What do you give him on that?
I know Austin is like 5'6", 5'7", so maybe 5'8", or maybe 5'9" at the absolute most. On a weave, Scott right side. He's hugged there by Taylor on the wraparound.
Okay, I'll be generous. I'll give Scott 6 foot even, just because it's
That's
Christmas.
generous.
You know, but 6'4" is the pushing it.
Oh yeah, no question about the 6'4". Gotta believe that's a typo. No, you can't even contest that one at 6'4". Scott hard push again by the Yellow Jackets. Culpepper brought out now to try to quell his offensive efforts. Chip, the defensive specialist for Tuskegee. Best pushes across the floor. Scott on the move again. Inside, takeaway by Goins on the inside. They converged on him and got the takeaway. Basketball kicked and it will stay with Tuskegee.
I understand when you're young, gifted, and strong. Scott that time trying to get to the hoop against two players that had position on him and just simply turned it over in the wrong spot.
Yeah, you get a shot of Scott's upper body, though. Look at those biceps. That'll give you a false illusion that you can break in between 2 or 3 players for sure.
You can get away with it some places. You can't get away with it in a lot of places.
Seasbury off front now. Boyce with a good screen there and a foul call. Tyshawn coming out to set a good screen for Tuskegee. Foul was called on Patterson. That's his second personal. Tuskegee side out, just to our left. We're at 12:09 remaining. Goins across the floor to Rodney. Now at the block to Boyce.
Make the
Boyce
pass.
doubled there, turns underneath to the glass. How about Tyshawn?
Like I said, make the turn.
He hit the turnpike that time out of Long Island. Got a lay in. Good job by Boyce. Good footwork at the baseline. Half court set now for the Yellow Jackets. Best in the corner, got the defense airborne. Jumper by him, and he's good. 46-33. Tuskegee with the lead. 11:33 left in the ball game. Seasbury doubled in the backcourt now. He'll slide left side, trapped there. Up the floor to Culpepper. Chip right side to the glass. Lost his balance. Goins got a rebound and will stay there. Noah with a great effort to keep that basketball alive for Tuskegee.
So as Seasbury is raising up, he makes an excellent pass as he's spinning. And a little bit of contact after that last little scrum, getting involved with Mike Best for Allen. Game getting a little chippy going into the timeout. But again, Culpepper.
11:20 left in the basketball game. Media timeout. Tuskegee with a 46-33 lead. Stick a timeout here on GTSN.
Hey, are you fixing the power?
Yep, I'm gonna get the lights back on.
Yeah. My power went out and I have to start level 14 all over again in our game. Yeah, why didn't mine go out?
Well, we have this technology that can stop an outage in its tracks.
Why?
So less people will be affected during the outage.
Why?
So you can make the level 15?
Come on, Brian. Let's go to your house and keep playing.
Good luck, guys.
Timeout. Back to live action. 11:20 remains. Let's take a look at that Alabama power point in the paint for the Golden Tigers just before the timeout. Good job of working that basketball on the inside to get that play. As you see the half-court set there. And boys, watch the footwork there. There's a quick little slide there, and he got it to the rack. Alabama power point in the paint for Boyce and Tuskegee. They lead it 46-33. Having the half-court set. In the corner, Culpepper. Trying to get it to Boyce again there. Boyce leaning back toward the rack. Folks the lane. Hook shot. Got it again. Tyshawn with another quick step, this time on the inside for the basket.
Nice touch by Boyce, spinning and winning inside with the nice finger roll.
Whistles out front on the inside. Foul called on Tyshawn on the inside. So Boyce picks up his second. He's got 4 points in the ball game. It'll be right left of the cylinder for the Yellow Jackets. Entry pass in the corner. Samaj Brown handles. Now they go back up top to Hunter Johnson. 6'4" Hunter Johnson. Doubled out front. They push him toward the mid-stripe there.
Offense further and further back.
Almost stepped on that mid-stripe, that's for sure.
Excellent aggressive play by the Tuskegee defense.
Well, they just jumped him out front, didn't they? Almost caused that Zuby Taco Kitchen turnover by the Yellow Jackets right there at the mid-stripe.
With every pass, Tuskegee's defense got in position, got a step in on the man. Watch the replay as the footwork for Tuskegee pushes Allen up just outside the line.
Yes, sir. That's a tennis call of a shot called in, right? Boy, very close there. On the inside, a foul. They trip up Noel Scott as he penetrates right side.
Let's just say it's a good thing they don't have Hawkeye here at Chappie James.
Yes, sir. You might get an overrule from the chair on that one. Scott inbounds it in the corner. Best fires a three-pointer. Missed on the shot. Culpepper leaning for that rebound. They'll get him for sliding over the back of Noel Scott. Chip picks up that foul.
Is it just me, or are we seeing a lot more players hitting the floor in the second half compared with the first? The play has gotten a little bit more intense.
Now you used the word chippy a little while, and the energy level is advanced as well. Half court set for the Yellow Jackets. Across the floor now. Scott handles. Stubbs on the move. 9 to shoot for Allen. Out front, Stubbs, 3. Missed on the shot, but a rebound to Brown. They'll get another look. They go across the floor. Best for 3. Missed on that shot. Rebound to RJ for Tuskegee now. Good dribble there by RJ to set the pace right side all the way through the rack to the glass. And RJ finishes for Tuskegee.
Excellent end-to-end finish. Now, I won't say that Allen's feeling the pressure, but they've got to be feeling down by 17 with under 10 remaining. A little bit of a sense of urgency to get the ball up and see if they can cut into this lead.
Down at the block. Smudge Brown missed on a dunk shot there. Just not tall enough to get it past the rim. In the corner. Seasbury for 3. Front of the iron. Boyce and Scott tangle it up down there for that rebound. And they're going to get Scott for pushing out on Boyce there, trying to create that space.
Tuskegee taking advantage. The block by the rim, generating their offense, getting a good look at the hoop. Watch the pass up court. That's the previous play.
We'll go ahead and call that
end-to-end layup.
Sure. We can call that one of two things. We can call that either an Alabama power point in the paint, or we can call that a Wind Creek Casino Montgomery fast break layup. Could have been either one of those. Either way, it was Rodney Walker streaking right side to get that lay-in. And here's a little bit of comedy mixed into our coverage. Brown self-choked at the cylinder. And Tuskegee went back the other way. 9:27 remains. 50-33 lead for the Golden Tigers. Pennington will inbound it right of the cylinder for TU. Draper back out on the floor. Back to D.A. on the move. Foul line extended. Jumper by D.A. Watch that one just spin and float. Good for him. He's got such good soft touch on his jump shots.
D. Anthony Pennington with the elevation and the swish.
Half court set now for the Yellow Jackets. Pennington up to 14 points, and so is Seasbury. Brown wants to avenge missing that dunk a few minutes ago. Now he's down at the block, and Goins commits the foul. So Noah picks up his first. Let's take a look at Sean Walker, second-year head coach for the Yellow Jackets. Saw them in the warm-ups earlier today when they first arrived on campus. Brown with that first free throw misses on that shot. Very fundamental coach, and just listening to him in the background, he was extremely familiar with Tuskegee to the point that he was familiar with player names and what their tendencies are on the floor. Just very impressed with the few minutes I heard of him doing coaching in their practice session this morning. Brown on the second missed that one as well. RJ clears up the floor to DA. Pennington left side of the floor now. Tuskegee wants to use that clock as an ally. We're under 9 minutes remaining. They lead at 52-33. Goins across the floor to Pennington, trying to get it to Draper. That one's denied on the inside. Good frontage there by Ethan Hill for the Yellow Jackets.
Hill at 6'8", 200 out of Muskegon. He's about the poundage match. He only goes 200 pounds.
Pennington trying to go for the three there. Draper got the rebound. Tied up by Hill this time, and it will stay on the Tuskegee end of the floor.
One thing you notice about Draper, when he gets his hands on the ball, he does not get it knocked out. Very tenacious once he makes a catch.
Good job by him to keep it alive. Tuskegee with another look with 20 seconds on the clock. Across the floor, Seasbury pulls back out front. Best following him defensively. Kevin on the move, Euro step and a whistle.
The Tuskegee sideline wanted the shot on the continuation. They were standing up, pointing to the ref, giving the good sign. Ref says, I'm not hearing it. You get the ball out on the side.
Way out front, right? Scott to Pennington at the block. Draper. Draper working on Hill. Turns to the rack. He got fouled, and Kasami, hard work on the inside. He'll be rewarded at the free throw line.
Draper made the catch against one and then tried to go to the rack on two. There were three players around him before he gets that attempt away.
Take a look at that on the replay. Draper working hard on the inside, as you referenced, folks.
Makes the catch. There's the bump. Now watch the other two close. You're very close to completing that in double coverage.
Sure, yeah, and both of them riding them real heavy with the fouls, no question. They gave the foul at the end of the day to Solange Brown.
So you talk about Draper possibly playing out of position, but I'd say for what he's doing at center at only 210, he's doing a tremendous job so far.
Yeah. Not short of heart at all. He plays real tough. 54-33 TU with his largest lead of the ball game. Half court set now for the Yellow Jackets. Has the block. They give it inside Hill. Pushes across the floor to Best. Best contact with Rodney. Oh, in the corner. Scott running jumper. Missed on the shot. Goins had it, had the position, but Hill came in to try to take it away.
It's an interesting non-call.
Yeah. I think it'll be the Yellow Jackets ball when we return, but we'll do that after the media timeout here inside Chappie James. 7:53 remains. Tuskegee leads 54-33. Back after the timeout.
Staying up to date on all recommended vaccines is one of the safest preventative care measures available to protect you and your family from disease. Many children and adults that delayed vaccination during the pandemic are still behind schedule. It is crucial that we take steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations. Tuskegee fans, let's all do our part to get back on track. Protect yourself and others by making sure you are up to date on all recommended vaccines, including respiratory virus vaccines. Don't wait. Vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM.
Tuskegee Nation, I'm Reginald Ruffin, Director of Athletics, and this is the Golden Tigers Sports Network.
$7:53 remains here in regulation. Tuskegee with a 54-33 lead over the Yellow Jackets of Allen University. You see the Allen bench right there at the bottom of the screen.
Tuskegee late coming off the sideline, had to sprint back into play before the officials got the ball in play. Allen might have had a free look.
Sure, very close to it, you're right. Inbound play, Brown barely able to keep it. They'll have it in a half-court set, the Yellow Jackets will. Scott in the corner with a three, missed on that with the air ball. Pennington over to Rodney. Rodney Walker comes across the timeline. Rodney with that early ankle injury in the season seems to be almost full throat now. Pennington across the floor. Seasbury for three. Bingo for Seasbury.
Seasbury was camped out outside the three-point line. It's like, are you going to get the ball to me in space or not? Once he raises up, he was very confident with that last jumper. Tuskegee with a huge lead.
He's got 17 as they come back the other way on the takeaway. D.A. floats it to the glass. Poetry in motion there by Pennington with the lay-in. He's got 16. Scott underneath, missed on his spinner. Draper at the block. He'll take it away for Tuskegee. Foul in the backcourt by Brown.
Draper looking up court. Just got hacked for no particular reason from behind. He'll go to the free throw line.
6:54. Take a look at the replay action here.
Watch
on
the defense.
Transition, the Golden Tigers. Seasbury back the other way, up the floor to D.A., and that is your Wind Creek Casino Montgomery. Fast break layup.
Get in the open court and able to get the ball up on the cylinder above the box is a nice feeling.
Isn't that nice? Yeah.
I miss
all
those
of that,
days.
didn't you, right? Oh, you do, right? So they let you play with a ladder? Huh?
Well, I did play third string junior varsity one year. I had to give up my jersey for Ouija Thomas once he got healthy, though.
Oh, good. I knew there was a reason you were in the lineup for some. Play resumed. Goins just took it away. Noah almost got a lay-in. And look at that Tuskegee bench over there. They are just fired up.
They came out of the locker room energetic, a little bouncy, and they've continued that in this second half.
Everybody having fun over there, even Coach Taylor with a smile on his face as he's just getting some phenomenal play from those players out on the floor right now.
Well, give credit to Tuskegee because what they've done is they've responded to the physical play of Allen with some aggressive play of their own, and they went up to this big lead. Remember, at halftime, it was only, what, a three-point lead?
Sure, indeed it was, 25-22, yeah.
So they've really sprinted in this second half out to this huge lead based on their defense, getting up some shots with confidence. And as you can see, with 6:48 remaining, 59-33 is a nice look for that bench.
Yeah, and I want to take you back to that final ball game in the Virgin Island Classic against Albany State. They were just romped by Albany State. They lost that ball game 60-49, and Coach Taylor and the coaching staff were just really irate and upset about not the overall performance of Tuskegee, but just allowing Albany State to kind of push them around the floor. And that lesson coming out of that was they were just talking about it openly about they have just got to be more aggressive and be able to meet that challenge when teams do that to them, which they were able to do here against the Yellow Jackets because they were kind of exerting that same type pressure we saw down in the Virgin Islands.
Well, not to make excuses for any ball player, but I'd be very curious, out of this Tuskegee roster, how many players were taking their first flight out of the country?
Good call. Good call. Yeah. Got
Don't
over
you need
there.
a passport to get to the VI?
No, you don't need one.
You don't need a
down there.
passport? That's right. It's USVI.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Had a little bit of trouble about transfers at the airport, which kind of threw the rhythm off a little bit. But overall, good trip. Got into that first ball game against Winston-Salem. I don't know what happened between that one and the second ball game. Just did not play the same with that level of intensity. But they picked that up here in this conference ball game against the Yellow Jackets of Allen University as Goins connects on the first free throw.
And lo and behold, second half, they're making their free throws.
Goins with the second. If you take a look here, one fan said he knows that Tuskegee's got it in the bag. He's just taking a little nice Virgin Island siesta. Got his feet kicked up and just going at it.
Well, you know you're out when your mouth is open.
Half court set now for the Yellow Jackets. Behind the arc, they work it. Sean Jones with it now across the floor to Stubbs at the block, pushing his way on the inside. Good work there with the off arm is Baker Bill. Bill back on the floor for the first time with his first point. Goins right side, Roy Obsaint, newest member of Tuskegee, works it at the block to Noah. Back out front to DA. We'll approach 6 minutes remaining.
Got a man in the corner.
Seasbury trapped out front across the floor. Obsaint for three. Missed on the shot. Whistles and a foul. Probably likely going to be Goins over the back of Scott, but we'll see. They were tying it up at the block. It'll go against Scott.
Yeah, I think they got Scott
and
on
the
that
Yellow
one.
Jackets.
The big body guard for Allen, just a little bit aggressive on that last rebound attempt.
Tuskegee with a 61-35 lead. It's fifth meeting between these teams since 2021. Tuskegee leads the series 4-0, four-game win streak. Won the first meeting in 2021, 86-69, on the verge of a same kind of finish here in this ball game.
Speaking of meetings, I think we played Allen. They're out of Columbia, South Carolina. We played them in a road trip on the way to the University of South Carolina back in the day. We had
baseball action.
Nice road trip
Sure.
going down south. Actually, South Carolina was coached by Bobby Richardson,
Oh, yeah.
former Yankees second baseman.
Yeah, a name I remember.
And you know what? We split the doubleheader.
Oh, okay. Coach Taylor's never lost to Allen University. Came close last year. They had to go to overtime to beat them last year. 5:37 remains here. Pass batted and taken away by Tuskegee. Obsaint blocked it
3-on-1.
over to Pennington. Pennington lost it momentarily, but reverses to the left hand and got a lay in.
That is when you need to see in slow motion.
Sure,
The
yeah.
adjustment in midair as the ball got knocked out of his hand, he is able to switch hands and make the conversion.
That's the challenge to our production crew to see if we got that one. Noah Goins just snatches that one away on the inside on the pass attempt. Pennington out front now for Tuskegee as we go near 5 minutes remaining. Across the floor to Obsaint. Roy on the move in the paint, left side underneath, and Obsaint with his first field goal as a Golden Tiger.
Okay, so Obsaint may not have been on the roster, but that's a nice reverse move inside.
Yeah. Should have put me on the roster. That'll get you there. Good job by him on the reverse. 66-35, doubled at the block now. And working underneath, left hand lay in. Good work there once again down at the block by Baker Bill. He's got 4 points in the ball game.
Baker Beal out of East Los Angeles Community College.
Draper challenges. He slides left side, and he drew a foul from Bill.
If you get a minute, you've got to watch that series Last Chance U, because the individual stories of these players who are trying to make something out of a really problematic background is worth watching. It's riveting television. You see the coaches and their struggles to bring a team of misfits together and how they come together as a team. Last Chance U on Netflix. And I'll expect a check in the mail.
Oh boy, I'm just about to say, you've given it all away, right? Draper hit the first free throw. Now, you've convinced me.
Well, here's the thing about Baker Beal. He shot 55% from the floor and 42% from three-point range. He's not a bad ball player.
No, I actually expected to see a lot more of him in this ball game early on for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, the one thing about problematic ball players, you never know what holds them back.
Sure.
And so you see a lot of talent on the floor from time to time, but can you convert that talent into intelligent play?
Tuskegee. Bounce pass. Bill pushes down in the corner. Jump shot there. That one's there. Ball backside rebound to Seasbury and Tuskegee now. Tuskegee with a commanding lead. Seasbury trying to add to it. The lead by 31 at this point. Euro step on the inside. That one goes out of bounds. It'll stay with the Yellow Jackets. Tuskegee.
One last point on Baker Beal. He's 6'5", 220. He's got a pro body.
Yeah, just looking at his numbers, that's exactly what I thought. I thought this guy's going to be something to reckon with this afternoon. But like you said, you just never know. You know, internally things go on with programs that you don't know from the outside. You're just looking at stats and just making an assessment.
Well, the interesting thing about this series, just to talk about it a little bit, there were players on East LA Community College that were sleeping in their vehicles because they couldn't make the commute between where they lived and the college. So when you see a college ball player working at a fast food restaurant just to make ends meet, getting off at 11 o'clock and having to make it to practice the next day, it just shows you what kind of sacrifice players that are less advantaged have to make.
Point well taken. Points on the scoreboard well taken too. 68-37 Tuskegee leads. Look at how they gotten that way from the floor. Tuskegee over 50%, almost at 54%, 23 of 43 shooting. Free throws. There's a category that you're not happy about. It's there, but right now Tuskegee not having to worry about that being a factor in the ball game.
If you shoot 54% from the floor, you shouldn't have to worry about anything.
Sure. They are firing, tearing it up from the outside. Trying to see if I couldn't get a read on the number of three-point shots out of those points for Tuskegee. Entry play there, half-court set now for the Yellow Jackets. Whistles and a jump ball. The arrow will give it on the arrow. It would have been Tuskegee's ball, and it will be. They'll face full court pressure. So they'll have it in the backcourt. Julian Watson, the junior from Baton Rouge, out on the floor now for Tuskegee. Julian had a good tournament down in the Virgin Islands, and go back the other way. The illegal screen on the inside for Tuskegee.
What does
Johnson.
Tuskegee do with a 31-point lead with only 3 minutes to go? Have they cleared their bench?
Yeah, everybody will get a chance to play here, but what you want to see is some quality play from the bench, the reserve players as well. Bryce Cummings down at the block. Cummings with a block there. I think they got a little body on that one, though. Bryce with a chance to play in this ball game. If you take a look at his left knee, he's got that wrap around that left knee, and we were on the plane talking on the plane down to the Virgin Islands, and he showed me a picture of what happened as to why he has that wrap on it. Homecoming night, after all the chaos that was on campus, Bryce was trying to find cover, and he wound up tripping over a sidewalk, and it just opened up a real wide wound on the top of his knee. And because it was at the top of his knee, as he was using his knee, it would never close because he was just, keeping it open, and it was just openly bleeding. And they finally put him on a brace and, tried to neutralize the leg so that he wouldn't keep it open and never get it to heal. But he finally was able to get it to Hill and showed me the early pictures of it, something to make you want to give up your lunch even on Spirit. So he is back and playing now. Good thing to see for him. Seasbury still firing from outside. Cummings trying to tap it to keep it alive. Evan Howell, left-hander. Howell missed on the shot on the inside, and they tie it up on the inside now.
You could see the entire Tuskegee bench raise up for that last shot, cheering on their teammate. They were just hoping that would fall so they could give him some extra depth. But you get the reserves in, and it's great to see the starters supporting them.
Sure, and Evan is everybody's guy. I'm down there in the Virgin Islands, can barely get around with this arthritic knee. Evan carrying my bags for me for most of the trip. So he's got a special place in my heart. Cummings again down low for Tuskegee, just tying it up and just not letting the basketball go. Bryce, the walk-on for Tuskegee. Every time he gets on the floor, he just tries to impress, and he does every time he's out there.
Second
No
time we've
end to
seen
his
Baker
heart.
Beal on a tie-up. Once on the Tuskegee end, this time on the Allen end of the court.
Yeah, these players value the time that they get out there. They know that there's a chance to keep them at the top of the mind of the coaching staff. Crawford out on the floor now. He'll work it left side to Watson. Crawford, a perfect example of that. He started out with limited playing time, but has worked his way into a 6th and 7th man position with Tuskegee. Obsate across the floor now to Cummings. 7 to shoot. Roy on the move. Foul on extended. Obsate jumper, back of the iron. He was hitting those with regularity yesterday in practice. Turnover there at the half court. Cummings tried to throw it down low, threw it over to Crawford. Threw it over on the inside to the Yellow Jackets, trying to get it inside to Crawford. There's a backside rebound by Cummings. Bryce will run the floor for TU. Up top, Watson across the floor. Obsate for 3. Can't find the range. Kind of got that sideline spin on the shot there. And that one not able to fall. Under 2 minutes left now. Crawford. There's a Yellowwood block shot at the baseline there by Roy Obsate for Tuskegee.
Hop Saint has that kind of rotation that you have on the ball when you're younger. You wind up shooting the ball with 2 hands because you're not strong enough to get it up with 1. And Hop Saint's rotation, as you mentioned, is more like a satellite than it is end over end.
Nice call on that. Jumper outside Johnson. And down low, tied up at the block. Smudge, or it's like Brown underneath there. Take a look at the action down low on this side of the floor. Yellow Jackets down at the block, and here comes Obsate with the Yellowwood block shot there and knocked out a couple of rows behind the cylinder. And Tuskegee leading it by 30 with 1:24 left.
I don't know if you caught that on the replay. It looked like Hop Saint might have mumbled a few choice words to Baker Beal as he's walking past him after that block. Now, I'm not one to lip sync, but I'll say whatever it wasn't friendly.
I got it. Everybody plays with passion, no question about it. From the free throw line, 1 of 2 there.
He was kind of muttering at him as he was walking past him, something about, don't try that again.
I'll Yellowwood block shot you again. Howell behind the arc now. Crawford pops out for the basketball. They got Howell down low trying to get it to him there. Watson on the move, right side. Williams had it tapped and it's out of bounds. It'll stay with Tuskegee with 5 to shoot.
Nice to see the Tuskegee reserves at least attempt to run the offense. As the game has gotten out of reach for Allen, Tuskegee's tried to stay in some type of system with their second unit.
Howell trying to save that one. That pass in too tight on his chest. Went out of bounds off of him. Basketball over to Allen.
Both seen garbage time devolve into glorified playground ball. At least Tuskegee is trying to show some discipline on offense.
Johnson across the floor, a jumper there by Smith. No, instead he goes down low to Bill, and Bill is fouled. So Coach Taylor coming over to me before we hit the air today and saying, Charles, what do you think? We got a shot against Allen? I said, Coach, you got this, man. He was like, I like that answer. Bill from the free throw line left the front end of 2 short.
Baker Beal misses the first and comes away muttering something as he goes back to the line to set up for his second attempt. He's still talking to one of the Tuskegee players. Looks like Seasbury having some words.
You get to this point where you know it's already out of hand score-wise. You just don't want to feel embarrassed enough, so anything will set you off. Watson up top to Crawford. Rob Saint now out front, and he lost it. Down the floor, and there's a flush down on the other end by Bill. Boy, you're right, Mark. I mean, we haven't seen much of him, but he's showing a lot of ability for the Yellow Jackets. He must be in the doghouse with Coach Walker or something.
It's like that old football joke about the centipede linebacker that showed up in the second half. He said, "Where were you in the first half?" I said, "I was tying my shoes."
I hear you. Well, we can tie a bow on this one. It's the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee with a 68-42 win over the Yellow Jackets of Allen University. Golden Tigers closing out the first half of the season here with the win. They will go to 5-6 overall and even at 3-3 in SIAC play. They came into today's ball game third in the West. We'll see how that all plays out over the break in terms of where they land, but it's going to be a setup for an interesting second half of the season for the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. Commanding win this afternoon over the Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets fall to 3-6 and go to 1-4 in SIAC play. They start at 7th in the East. We'll see what the loss does to them in terms of where they stand going into the second half. But it's all Tuskegee this afternoon. The women win their ball game earlier here inside Chappie, 55-49. And the men in the nightcap, they win at 68-42 over the Yellow Jackets of Allen University. We'll take a time out here. We'll go inside of the Alabama Department of Public Health postgame show after this timeout on GTSN.
I think one lesson from COVID, we saw that people who had uncontrolled disease, obesity, diabetes, they were at risk. So it's kind of like this is a time for people to realize your whole goal should be to have ultimate health. You know, if you're a smoker, you need to stop. If you're overweight, you need to work on that. And I know that's easier said than done. If you have high blood pressure, you need to control it. Because when anything comes that's an insult or a pandemic type situation, you want to decrease your vulnerability by trying to be in the ultimate health that you can be. And I think that's what we should take moving forward.
What does education mean when you choose the top HBCU in Alabama?
So one of the things that's been most valuable from my experience at Tuskegee is being able to face challenges head on. I can definitely say here I've learned how to be an advocate for myself, how to speak up, and how to present myself in ways that can help me get opportunities, that help me fix things that may not be right. And I think that's really just the best skill that I've learned here that I can take with me for the rest of my life.
Look forward to your bright future. Apply to Tuskegee University today.
Coach, we need a final.
We are back here inside Chappie James. Golden Tigers win it 68-42 over the Yellow Jackets of Allen University. In the ball game in the second half, Tuskegee just took off in flight and never landed after that. Just really took control of that ball game in the final 20 minutes to win it against Allen University. And we're joined by the head coach of the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee, Coach Benchy Taylor, trying to get the final stat box from Kasami Draper. Kasami, get you set up to come over here next with us after Coach takes a quick look at the box and gets his thoughts together.
Shot 60% second half. We've just been out of sync, and even when RJ came back today, we were still a little bit out of sync. You know how this with your quarterback and missing games and things like that. So it's a good win for us. I thought we were I thought we had a really good practice up until the day of shoot around. I thought we were some of the guys were halfway in the car going home for Christmas. You know what I mean? So, but I was going to keep them in practice.
Regardless, right?
Yeah, well, they can go home now. So I told them at halftime, you lose this game if you want to. We don't
Cut that trip short.
We're going to go twice and get it figured out. Yeah.
I want to ask you something, Coach, because it was sticking in my mind to some degree. I don't want to see if it was any carryover at all from this.
Yes.
That last ball game in the Virgin Islands against Albany State, we were kind of pushed around in that contest, did not play the way that we wanted. And I know that was sticking in your craw pretty tough coming out of St. Thomas.
Yeah.
How much of a factor was that in terms of trying to energize this team to get into this ball game here today?
You know, the way the game is officiated can really dictate how the game is played. You know, and for us, we have to be consistently physical and tough without cutting our screening and with the ball. I got some guys that quite frankly are playing maybe too many minutes, and then when they get tired, they just cough one up every now and then like it's okay. It's not okay to ever turn it over. You know, we had 10 turnovers at halftime. I think the difference in the game, we only had 5 in the second half, and we shot it well the second half, but we were a little disjointed in the first half, and they got after us a little bit. And credit to them, their point guard is out, but they played a lot. They've been in every game, and you know they're well-coached ball club, very good defensively.
Mark was asking you about this before we came on air into the Alabama Department of Public Health postgame show about what it is that you said to them at halftime to kind of change the flavor of the second half. You kind of jokingly said to Mark, nothing. But I know something had to transpire because it was a night and day situation for the team coming out.
I said 2 things. I told you guys you can go home after the game to start the break.
Oh, back to that.
If we lose, we're practicing tomorrow. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I told KD I want half your meal money if you don't have a better second half. And KD is kind of cheap. He don't want to come off half his meal money, so because the cafeteria is closed. So I knew he played better in the second half.
Well, speaking of KD, why don't we use that as a segue to get him in here on this to get his thoughts on this ball game.
You need to talk to me. You need to talk to Big Ticket, man. Who I think he's playing really good basketball. I don't want the free throws to get into his head. I mean, he's getting. You know, he got fouled 8 times tonight. He's averaging getting fouled 10 times a game. So it's a wear and tear on him. I think sometimes when he goes to the line, he's a little tired, a little fatigued. But I think he's having a hell of a year for us, and he's just getting better and better. And we're glad we have him. So, yeah, you need to talk to Big Ticket.
Yeah, let's get KD, and we'll get back to you after we're done with him. Just a second.
All right.
Kasami Draper joining us here in the post-game show. Kasami,
hey, how you doing?
Congratulations on a big win this afternoon.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about the performance, your performance in particular. First half, you did not get all the rhythm that you wanted, but in the second half, you really came alive for that Tuskegee offense and defense. What was the difference for you in the ball game today?
Just trusting what we work on, trusting myself that I put the work in, the results will show. I mean, sometimes, you know, things not going to go your way the first half, but it was a long game. Just sticking with it 40 minutes, I feel like it'll always end up working out how it's supposed to.
It just seems like teams just come with this mindset of, okay, let's just try to put as much pressure on Kasami as we possibly can. I was here a couple of hours before the ball game as Allen was warming up, and the coach was just calling your name out specifically about your tendencies and what they really needed to do to try to shut you down. Day in and day out, that seems to be the rhythm for the opposition, is try to really shut you down. So how does that play into your psyche, knowing that they're really going to be coming at you at the beginning of the ball game?
I would just say I would come into the games with the mindset that I can't wait, that I should just kind of be ready out the get-go, knowing what teams are expecting out of me and knowing what my team is expecting out of me. So I can't really shy away from the challenge. I just come to every game being ready to be the aggressor.
We're just looking at some of the highlights of you in this ball game, working inside the paint. Once you get them on your elbow and you got enough space to kind of do what you want, it's just difficult to stop you. Do you sense that when you're inside the paint that you're where you want to be and you know your spot on the floor, or does it just kind of come based upon what unfolds?
Yeah, I would say is our offense. We work on these same plays every day in practice, so I know before the plays even ran where I should be getting the ball, my spots. I know that the double's coming from a lot of teams. They're just trying to get the ball out of my hands and play me to my weaknesses, so I just try and get shots up quick or, you know, not put the ball down on the floor too much.
Looking at you here in action there inside. That right-handed shot for you with the one-hander just seems to work once you get to where you want to be on the floor. And you got a lot of spots on the floor this afternoon that really contributed to the Tuskegee win. Kasami, great ball game this afternoon. Christmas break ahead of you now. What are your plans for the holidays?
I'm going to just chill with my family, man. I ain't got too much going on. Just relax, enjoy the break, get in the gym, try and stay consistent with whatever we're doing, come back locked in.
Hey, big second half of basketball coming for us as we get set for January action.
Yep.
Good finish for the first half with you here tonight.
Yes,
thanks, Kasami.
Thank you.
Kasami Draper, the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee, doing a great job on the inside, finishing the ball game tonight. Draper with 13 points and had 6 rebounds for Tuskegee. All tough points earned inside the paint for him, for the Golden Tigers as they win it over the Yellow Jackets of Allen University. Final score once again 68-42. Golden Tigers with the win. They go to 5-6 overall and 3-3 in the SIAC. And the Yellow Jackets finish the first half of the season at 3-6 and 1-4 in SIAC play. So that will do it for our coverage here on the first half of the Tuskegee basketball season. Again, the winners, both sides for Tuskegee tonight. The women win the first ball game 55-49. They go to 4-7 and got their first conference win of the season. Congratulations to the Golden Tigers and Coach Wester. And for the men of Tuskegee, they get their third conference win with the 68-42 win over the Yellow Jackets of Allen University. We're done until January after the holidays. We hope that you will have a wonderful holiday season. And join us back here in January for Golden Tigers basketball as we continue our coverage of Golden Tigers athletics. Take a quick time out here. When we come back, we'll wrap things up here from Chappie James.
Staying up to date on all recommended vaccines is one of the safest preventative care measures available to protect you and your family from disease. Many children and adults that delayed vaccination during the pandemic are still behind schedule. It is crucial that we take steps to get everyone back on track with their routine immunizations. Tuskegee fans, let's all do our part to get back on track. Protect yourself and others by making sure you are up to date on all recommended vaccines, including respiratory virus vaccines. Don't wait. Vaccinate. For more information, visit alabamapublichealth.gov/IMM.
Back live here inside Chappie James, Mark, as we get set to close out our broadcast. Golden Tigers on the good foot here to finish the front half of the season with the 68-42 win. Your thoughts?
Well, on the good foot on the solstice. This is
winter
the shortest
solstice.
day of the year,
Sure.
so the days start to get longer, and maybe those shots for Tuskegee start to drop as they get longer as well. So great to see them come out in the second half and have a strong game, finishing off Allen the way they did.
Sure, great performance as we take a look at some of the final numbers in the ball game this afternoon. It is rare that you shoot from the field that percentage that Tuskegee did, almost at 50% at 48.9. Take that to 49%. You don't get that day in and day out, but you take advantage of it when you do.
Well, 49%, and that includes everybody.
Yep.
That's the players off the bench, that's the reserves, that's your trainers, that's everyone. So credit to Tuskegee for having that strong second half where they were really shooting the ball.
And you heard Coach Taylor reference it that they started the first half, had a lot of turnovers, but minimized it to only 5 in the second to finish with 15 overall. And then you look at the fast break points of Wind Creek, Casino, Montgomery fast break points. Tuskegee doing very well in transition as well.
It's interesting. You think about this being a guard-oriented conference. Nice to see that 15 assist number. If they can build on that number, Tuskegee will be in good shape as they get into the meat of their schedule.
Well, we saw them this afternoon. If they can play anywhere near the way that they played here on a continuous basis in the second half of the season, it should be interesting to see where this team winds up. Again, doubleheader action here from Chappie James. Winners both sides. The women win the first ball game, get their first conference win, and the Golden Tigers close things out with a 68-42 win over the Yellow Jackets of Allen University. Mark, good to have you back in the booth. See you after the holidays.
Good to be back. Hope you have a great holiday. Drive safe, eat a lot, and see you in January.
And thank you for watching our coverage here this afternoon from Tuskegee. Special thanks to Tuskegee President Dr. Mark Brown and to the the director of our coverage and athletics director, Reginald Ruffin, also the chief operating officer, Dr. Rolandis Rice, and everybody in the athletics department that really makes the GTSN brand and Tuskegee Athletics blend and go. Thanks so much for your help in this first half of the season. And we'll see you all back here after the holidays for more Golden Tigers basketball on the Golden Tigers Sports Network. Charles Ward.
Tuskegee fans, thank you for listening to the Golden Tigers Sports Network.